All right, today we've got a really cool story. It's all about how a simple piece of chalk, yeah, you heard me, chalk, fixed a problem that threats, promises, and all the shouting in the world just couldn't solve. It's an absolutely powerful lesson in what really makes us tick. So, let me ask you something. Imagine you're in charge of a team, right? And they're just not performing. They're not hitting their goals. And you've tried everything. You've been the nice guy, you've been the tough guy, and now you're just completely out of ideas. What's your next move?
Well, this was the exact situation for a mill manager working for the legendary industrialist Charles Schwab. I mean, this manager had a team that just could not meet the production quota, day in and day out. The problem felt totally, completely unsolvable. And this manager, he went through the entire playbook of desperate measures. I'm talking he tried coaxing the men, he tried pushing them, he was swearing and cussing, he even threatened to fire them. He was literally throwing everything he had at the problem, and absolutely nothing was working.
But still, nothing. The team's performance was totally flat. It was a complete deadlock, and the manager was at the end of his rope. And that's when the big boss himself, the president of the company, Charles Schwab, decides it's time to pay a little visit. Now, you would think he'd come in and deliver some big speech or issue some new threats, right? Nope. Schwab does something so simple, so completely unexpected. He shows up at the mill right at the end of the day shift, just as the night crew is starting to trickle in. And get this, he doesn't even go talk to the manager. He just walks right up to one of the workers from the day shift and asks this one super direct question. No judgment, no big lead up, just a simple request for a number. The worker tells him, 6. So Schwab, he grabs a piece of chalk, and without saying another word, he just draws a big, bold number 6 right there on the factory floor. And then he just walks away. That's it. Can you just imagine the mystery, the confusion that one simple act must have created?
You see, that silent number on the floor, it was about to do what all the managers shouting and begging could never accomplish. It sparked something really, really powerful. A good old-fashioned sense of competition.
So when the night shift crew comes in for work, of course, the first thing they see is this big chalk mark. Hey, what's that about? They ask the day guys. And the day crew tells them, you're not going to believe this. The big boss was here. He asked how many heats we made, and then he just chalked it on the floor. Okay, so the next morning, Schwab comes back to the mill, and guess what? The 6 is gone, and in its place, the night shift had wiped it out and drawn their own number, a big, proud 7. The challenge was on. It was silently accepted. A friendly rivalry was officially born. Oh, but when the day shift saw that 7, no way they were going to be outdone. They went to work with this incredible new energy, this enthusiasm, and by the end of their shift, they'd scrubbed out that 7 and left behind an enormous, almost swaggering 10 for the night shift to find. And the result of this simple, unspoken game? It was absolutely astonishing. The whole dynamic of the entire mill was transformed, and I mean, like almost overnight. And here it is. This is the punchline. This very same mill, the one that was lagging so far behind, the one the manager had pretty much given up on, it didn't just get better. It quickly became the single most productive mill in the entire plant. Unbelievable. So, what in the world happened here? What was a psychological button that Schwab pushed so perfectly that the manager had missed completely? Well, it all boils down to one really fundamental human drive. Schwab himself explained it perfectly. He said the way to get things done is just stimulate competition. But, and this is the really crucial part, he's talking about a specific kind of competition. This wasn't about money, it wasn't about getting a bonus or avoiding being fired. No, it was about tapping into that deep, innate desire we all have to just be good at what we do, to excel. See, what Schwab really understood is that for people with spirit, and let's be honest, that's most of us, throwing down a challenge like that is an almost irresistible call to action. It completely reframes the work. It's not a chore anymore. Suddenly, it's a game. And it's a game you want to win. I mean, the difference between the two approaches is just night and day, isn't it? The manager, he was all about external, top-down pressure, threats, coaxing. Schwab, on the other hand, he created an internal, ground-up challenge. The manager was relying on outside stuff like fear, what we call extrinsic motivation. But Schwab, he unlocked that powerful intrinsic desire we all have to prove ourselves and to win. And that really leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? This whole principle, it wasn't just for some steel mill 100 years ago. It's about a really fundamental part of who we are as people. So the real question for you is this. In your own work, with your team, or maybe even just in your own life, where can you draw your chalk mark?